talk about auto insurance premiums because those are also going up. In fact, they've gone up 50% in the past 5 years. So drivers in some states now pay more than $4,000 a year for coverage. Those are states like New York, Louisiana, Florida. Those are the most expensive states in which to insure a car. And then drivers in, say, Vermont pay a fraction of that. So let's talk about what's driving those skyrocketing rates and how consumers can protect themselves. Joining us now is Bobbi Rebell, consumer finance expert at cardrates.com. So Bobbi, explain why location is so important. I get New York, everything is more expensive in New York, but why Louisiana, places like that? Why are those
Yeah.
skyrocketing?
Well, it's interesting because location really is everything, but it's not necessarily for the reasons that you would think. Yes, New York is more expensive in general, but the reason location is so important when it comes to the cost of auto insurance is actually things like weather. So that's where you might have Louisiana, where you have hurricanes that can do a lot of damage. And where I am right now in Florida, we had two hurricanes somewhat recently. So that is something where people's cars get damaged. They file a lot of claims, tens of thousands of claims were filed here in Florida. You also have population density. How many people are in this state? Because if it's more crowded, there's a feeling, and there's data to showing it, that there are going to be more accidents, which is a shame. And then, of course, you've got the cost of how much does it cost to repair your car, and crime. We're talking about theft, but we're also talking about what's called garage fraud, which is very interesting, where people claim that their car is actually somewhere it's not. So you might register your car with your Aunt Sally in another state that's much less expensive. Well, the people that are in the state you really live in have to kind of cover that cost.
Oh, that's not fair at
No.
all.
No.
In terms of like the higher repair costs, the average cost of a car is obviously way more expensive now at $50,000 for an average car, but also all of the little gadgets, the technologies, the sensors, none of that is cheap to repair.
Well, that's exactly it. Cars are not only more expensive, they're also a lot more complicated. We love our GPS systems. We love all of the different gadgets that are in our cars, the sensors that go on when you switch lanes. That's expensive. So, you damage your bumper. It used to be a piece of plastic or even metal, and they're just going to bang it out. Now you've got sensors attached. So it's just a lot more complicated with all of this advanced technology, and that makes it more expensive.
So, Bobbi, help us out. What can we do to try to lower our auto insurance rates?
Right. Besides moving states, well, you want to be the best customer you can. And part of doing that is having the best driving record you can. So don't get caught speeding. Well, don't speed at all, let's say. I don't want to just say don't get caught speeding. Do not speed. Also, as always, shop around. Use brokers because sometimes they can maybe know about different deals. They might have more resources. Also, ask for life change adjustments. So if you had a teenage driver, and those rates we know are much higher, I am the parent of a teenager. If they're no longer a teenager, you may be able to get a discount. Also, think about raising your deductible. That's not something that we like to do when, if we think there's going to be an accident, but the truth is that will make your day to day costs a little more affordable. And of course, don't over insure. Find out what your state actually requires. Sometimes they might not require no fault insurance, depending on, and if you have an older car, of course, think about whether you want to lower the collision insurance on that, because you may not, it may be a car that you're not going to necessarily pay to repair if something happens. And finally, bundle all those ads that we see where they say, home and auto. Do that. You might get a better rate.